There is a world all around you, filled with creations that will amaze. A world of destinations that astound. A world waiting to be explored. Come and discover the unseen world. On today's episode, a family follows the Yellow Brick Road to reopen an abandoned theme park that's no place like home.
People find out that there was a fully functioning theme park that was opened in the 70s and they had no idea. They kind of have a what moment because they just don't expect it. The magic of Oz in general just kind of is swirling around here, and the design from Jack Pentas. I mean, he designed something 50 years ago that people are literally scaling fences and risking getting arrested just to see.
Very few people get the opportunity to actually step back into an experience that they had as a kid. And so this was kind of what it was like for me today, was walking back into this thing that I had such great memories of, and it was just incredible.
High on top of Beech Mountain, the remnants of a once-forgotten theme park is getting a new life, the Land of Oz theme park. In 1965, brothers Harry and Grover Robbins wanted to find a way to turn Beech Mountain into an attraction year-round.
They brought in Charlotte-based designer Jack Pentas to figure out what they could do with the top of Beech Mountain. And the second he came up, he thought it was the Land of Oz. Beech Mountain itself is one of the highest points on the East Coast. And Jack designed the park based around the natural design. So he only destroyed one tree when building the park. He was very adamant about building around the natural terrain. And I think it shows because there's little like nestled areas that just make it seem like Oz grew here and not that it was placed here. And the views up here are phenomenal, and you just don't expect a place like this to be wrapped around the side of a mountain. They broke ground in 1968. It opened in 1970 with Debbie Reynolds and Carrie Fisher cutting the ribbon.
The park opened in 1970, so it must have been 71 that I was here, so I had to be 7 years old, which is 49 years ago. Oh my gosh. And I remember, there's so much of it that I remember very specifically. The clearest memory that I have is of going into Dorothy's house and going into the cellar, seeing the rooms in the house. You know, the way you first see them, you go through the cellar and then you come out the other side and you see the same rooms again, but they're all like, you know, jumbled up, like because a cyclone has hit. And then you come out and you're in this new magical land. And that's, for some reason, that's the thing that sticks more clearly than anything else in my head.
It became the #1 tourist attraction overnight. And it had a really successful first 5 years, but Carolina Caribbean went bankrupt in 1975.
In December of 1975, a fire broke out that destroyed the Emerald City Amphitheater, which housed the offices, the stage shows, costumes, and one of the gift shops.
There was a burglary of original movie costumes that were on display in the Parks Museum, and they didn't know if they were going to reopen for 1976, but another company came in, took it over, and it ran from 1976 to 1980, and then it closed after the 1980 season. It was just closed. It was left to its own devices between like 1981 and 1984.
For years, the park remained closed. Though no longer operating, it was never abandoned. Though that didn't stop urban explorers from scaling fences to take a peek, sometimes even stealing bricks from the Yellow Brick Road as a souvenir. The future of the park seemed uncertain. The Unseen World will be right back. We now return to The Unseen World. In 1988, the family that owned the property started hosting a reunion for the original cast members. Because of their love for the park and story of Wizard of Oz, this unlikely family morphed their reunions to a 3-day event called Autumn in Oz. The Autumn in Oz event became an annual event in 1991 and has been going strong ever since.
So the employees originally showed interest in coming back to have the reunion, but the property manager at the time, Cindy Keller, she started the Autumn in Oz family with the family who owned the property. And it just grew from a 1-day event to a 6-day event.
My name is Kay Harkins, and as of now, I get to be Glinda in these wonderful festive days. But in the olden days, in 1977, I was Dorothy. We have our reunions along the way. It's been really nice to keep up. We've kept up with a lot of our friends. Well, the funnest friend that I have is my husband. He was a Tin Man. So I have my very own knight in shining armor. We met because of Oz, and the story is following along. He used to work at the park too. He worked a couple of years before I did. And a good friend of mine who was a Dorothy introduced us. So we got to meet each other that way. And we didn't work. It wasn't work. We had our whole summer lined up doing this. This is what we did as our summer job. But by the end of the summer, you just kind of looked at each other and said, we haven't worked a day in our lives the whole summer. But we got paid for it. But we had a good time. It was a lot of fun. I have been doing this for about 4 years now, but I've been helping out when my daughter has turned to, she gets to do Dorothy. And it's kind of fun. It's fun being able to step back and watch from my point of view where she gets to go. It's so magical because you'll see all the little girls come up to hug her and just embrace her, and you know, that's what I used to go through, what I used to do. And it's just fun. I get to relive, you know, you say you relive things through your children. I get to live a very magical time through my own daughter. It's very magical.
I'm a huge fan of The Wizard of Oz. Since I was a little kid, I feel like I have never known my life without The Wizard of Oz. I had all the toys growing up. I was always the characters for Halloween. And my parents were really amazing with supporting that. And I think what makes this event so special for me is I'm able to share that with people, but my team, my core team is amazing. We have Jana, who's an original Dorothy, as our general manager, and I've known her for years, and Weston's our designer, and he's a friend of mine from New York. And the people that we have brought in to make this event successful, they've become family, and they're all really amazing, and they're all very passionate about this place. And that's what helps, because the costumes are not comfortable. The climate up here is so insane, especially during the winter. It's so harsh that sometimes it's like starting from scratch again. And especially the Yellow Brick Road, it is sliding off the side of we're on the side of a mountain, so the Yellow Brick Road's sliding off, or any kind of water damage that happens. It's just, there's always something every time we come back, and every year it's kind of like a little bit of a scramble to get it back up to par. We don't get a lot of rehearsal time. People are traveling from Orlando, from New York City, from Ohio, from all these places, and just to be a part of producing this event. And that's what makes it really special to me personally. And our bosses who own the property are so supportive and so amazing. So we just are very fortunate to have kind of all of the puzzle pieces come together to make this successful.
The Unseen World will be right back. Searching for more episodes of The Unseen World? Then look for It's Real Good TV online or in your favorite app store to get free, unlimited access to every episode of The Unseen World. Plus, gain access to hundreds of other shows, too. Stop hunting and start binging with It's Real Good TV, available anywhere you watch TV, online or on your phone. Just search for the app or visit itsrealgoodtv.com. Start streaming now. We now return to the unseen world. The Autumn in Oz event starts the second weekend in September. Visitors start off in the village, which is filled with live music, food, a petting zoo, and more. There's even an Oz museum where visitors can catch a glimpse at original movie props. And of course, they can tour the Land of Oz theme park. Visitors start off in Dorothy's house and experience the tornado. After emerging from the house, you're standing on the yellow brick road. Along the way, you come across the Scarecrow, the Tin Man, the Cowardly Lion, and the Wicked Witch of the West. The tour ends with visitors and Dorothy and friends reaching the Emerald City to meet the great and powerful Oz.
In June, we have Journey with Dorothy, which is an immersive, interactive event. So you follow the Yellow Brick Road with Dorothy, but at the beginning of your tour, selected people within your group get to play the Scarecrow, Tin Man, or Lion. So they get a hat and a script that represents the characters. So you get to play the characters with Dorothy for that. And for Autumn at Oz, it's kind of our big shebang, and all the bells and whistles come out, and at any given moment, you're immersed in the story of the Wizard of Oz. So in Kansas, we have dancing farmhands, or Dorothy singing, and you go along the Yellow Brick Road, and you meet the Munchkins and Glinda and the Wicked Witch, and then you have the Emerald City show at the end.
Oh man, seeing it again for the first time with grown-up eyes, it looks a lot smaller than I remember it being when I was a tiny kid. And there's a lot of things, you know, like they refurbished a lot of it, and maybe I guess added some newer things to it. So there, even though I remember very specific parts of it, there's a lot of things that I wasn't sure if I was seeing something that I'd seen in a photograph on, you know, the internet, or if it was something that that had been refurbished, and I can't remember if that was there originally. I don't know. But from a lot of it, it's exactly the way that I remember it. There's so many little details that I remember seeing when I was a kid, like the character faces that are carved into the trees and all that stuff. That was amazing. What I kind of remember is that when you would go along the path, the Yellow Brick Road, there were, like, each character had a place where they did their own little song and dance number. And the only one that I remember seeing today was the witch's castle is still there. And they're not using it for shows now, but there was a little pavilion that you stand on, and she would come out of the castle. She would talk to the crowd and do a little whatever she would do. But I remember the Scarecrow had a house and did a song and dance number kind of thing.
I get emotional. I mean, I do. It's kind of, you have moments where you're just like walking around and seeing the kids like interact with Dorothy, or like you get grown men on the Yellow Brick Road that tear up, or everybody just needs to, you get people that are like, are we allowed to skip? And we encourage it, because that's all you want to do when you hit the Yellow Brick Road. And I think to share that and see that for a story that means so much to me, it's so great to see that it means so much to everybody else, to the point that they want to come and experience it all.
The Unseen World will be right back. We now return to the Unseen World.
I think there are a few factors that keep people coming back. One thing is, people don't understand the magnitude of the Wizard of Oz, or the story of the Wizard of Oz and what it means to people.
I was a kid that was always into the fanciful, you know, anything that was fantasy and sci-fi was what I was all about. So it was the whole thing of going from a black and white world into this Technicolor world that was just absolutely captivating. I mean, it was kind of everything that went through my imagination at the time anyway, you know. I was always traveling to other planets or going into these fantasy worlds when I was little. So it was just like, it sort of summed up my whole mindset at the time. Everything that I did sort of revolved around two things: Lost in Space and Wizard of Oz. So obviously, you know, my whole head was, you know, in other places and not in reality. So in class and in Sunday school, I would just sit around and draw Wizard of Oz pictures. And I drew like my own little Wizard of Oz comic books, you know. So I would have adventures with all the characters doing things that you didn't see in the movie. Growing up, my family, you know, they would show Wizard of Oz once every year on television. And, you know, this is before the age of DVDs and, you know, videos and that kind of stuff. So you just had to wait until somebody showed it on television. And it was a big thing. It was like a big annual, you got all excited because they're going to show Wizard of Oz again. You waited for those commercials that they're going to be showing it on TV again. It was a lot of fun seeing it again for the first time since I was a little kid. I mean, it really kind of brings back all those childhood memories. And it's very few people get the opportunity to actually step back into an experience that they had as a kid. And so this was kind of what it was like for me today, was walking back into this thing that I had such great memories of, and it was just incredible.
For us, especially everybody that works here, it's actually really magical because you get little kids who are very invested, but you also get adults that get on the Yellow Brick Road and they start crying, or like when Dorothy says goodbye to the Scarecrow, Timmy the Lion in the stage show, it's the same thing, and it kind of gets us really choked up. And I think people are wanting something like this based around the Wizard of Oz, and there aren't really many places like that.
Oh, it's just magical. So many people know every word to the movie. They come in and they can recite any of it, and once they're here, they are part of the music. They are the magic. It's everything they ever dreamed of, and they've just stepped right into the story.
I'm assuming it's a yes, right? Yes!
For me, foremost, I feel like it's a fairy tale that anybody can relate to. So anybody can relate to the fact that they don't feel smart enough, or they're not loved enough, or they're not brave enough, or they're just Dorothy's just trying to find her place. And I think what's so amazing about it is that she unbiasedly helps these strangers find what they're looking for without, she was looking for what she wanted herself. So she helps these people she doesn't know, and it just helps her grow to find her ultimate goal of getting home. And she's not a damsel in distress, and she's not looking for her Prince Charming. She just wants to get home to her family. And I think that's what people relate to, because at the end of the day, no matter what happens, no matter what storm happens, you just want your family.
The Land of Oz is located in Beech Mountain, North Carolina. Autumn in Oz starts the second week in September, and private tours can be scheduled year-round. For more information, visit their website at www.landofoznc.com. The Unseen World will be right back. Searching for more episodes of The Unseen World? Then look for It's Real Good TV online or in your favorite app store to get free, unlimited access to every episode of The Unseen World. Plus, gain access to hundreds of other shows, too. Stop hunting and start binging with It's Real Good TV, available anywhere you watch TV, online or on your phone. Just search for the app or visit itsrealgoodtv.com. Start streaming now. Have you explored a location featured on today's episode of The Unseen World? Then share your stories with us and join the conversation at #SeeUnseenWorld on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. And if you know of a hidden gem, roadside attraction, or any other interesting location you think deserves to be uncovered, visit SeeUnseenWorld.com to make a suggestion to our producers.
good.